Ladies, gentlemen, and haradrim of all ages, it's been a hell of a long time since we last talked about something that may or may not be in Diablo 4, the cow level. Since Diablo 2, there has been some incarnation of a secret level in the Diablo series, a secret hidden area that you could access through a weird process. In Diablo 2, this would put you into a level where all of the enemies were just cows, and this was a whole crazy thing that sort of blew the internet up back in the day, at least as much as a video game could. Then in Diablo 3, this extended into things like Whimsyshire, and as you can tell, this is trying to advance the concept of a hidden level where the themes, both visually and among the enemies, are just completely backwards to how Diablo normally works. Instead of being scary, evil demons, you got a bunch of evil cows, or in Diablo 3, just a bunch of rainbows and colorful areas. This is a really fun concept, in my idea. The devs have always played quite coy with it, acting like they have no idea what anyone is talking about if you mention the cow level, and in Diablo 4, it has been quite a journey finding out whether there even is or is not a cow level to begin with pretty much every major breakthrough on the subject first happening through the Not Finding a Cow Level Discord group. I want to give them credit here, and they organize and work together, a whole bunch of players, to try and solve every bit of this puzzle, which is quite ridiculous this time around, though you may expect that given the base game of Diablo 4 is more than a year old, and there still is not a cow level. Or is there? Today we're going to round up all developments on the subject, everything players have found and have been able to link in ways that make sense and are all but confirmed, and what this has led to so far, along with the subject that I think deserves talking about too, which is why, as of this point, is there still no cow level? Thankfully, as well, with a lot of these things being essentially solved at this point, as crazy as it will start to sound, we have a pretty solid idea of how to complete the first couple of major steps, and the most recent breakthroughs have happened since the start of Season 6 and the drop of the expansion, so it is actually quite fresh. Starting out from the sort of start of the process with the initial 3 relics and cleansing process, the old news is the existence of 3 relics within the files of the game: the bloody wooden shard, the intricate metallic fragment, and the musty tome. Each of these comes from killing cows. Specifically, if you kill 666 cows, you will get one of these relics depending on the region in which you are in when you kill the final cow. Kyrgyzstan or Hawazar gives you the wooden shard, Dry Steppes gives you the metallic fragment, Skoslen are the fractured peaks for the musty tome. Then you want to head to Kedbardu, the main city with the fountain headed up by 4 oxes on the eastern side. If you drop all of the items into this fountain and interact with each statue to offer the relics to them, then you will be offered an item called the Strange Key. This is where players were blocked off for ages until the next step was found. There was a lot of speculation, but it wasn't properly accessible for a while. But what the key unlocks is a place called the Forlorn Hovel, a secret cellar. This is all the way on the eastern side of the Skoslen region in the head of the cow, so to say, as many players have noted that this area of the map sort of looks like a cow if you look at it top down. And that's why so many people were looking for answers here, and, well, they were correct. If you have the key, then you can enter through this door to find a house full of a large number of cows. If you kill all the cows, you get the stamina potion item. This doesn't do anything obvious within itself, but given how the previous steps have worked, all assumptions are that this will lead to another step of the cow level being unraveled. That said, this is the point where the leads dried up for a while. For nearly a year, nothing new really developed around the sort of mystery of the cow level in the game, and it's all just sort of been accepted that at least at that point, the cow level simply was not accessible within Diablo 4, and all of the steps that could be taken had been tried. So the cow researchers just sort of waited, went into cow hibernation, and waited until the release of the Vessel of Hated expansion, where data miners found more potential steps for finally reaching the cow level, specifically including a whole new set of these relics and an end reward, just like the stamina potion was, with all of the relics being from Nahantu, the new region in the expansion, and also being quite a fair bit more complex than the original cow kill counter, though something that you can do much faster if you know how to do it. These new relics then are the Rusted Old Bell, the Jabbering Gemstone, and the Crooked Staff. The Rusted Old Bell comes from walking very closely up to some very specifically placed tiny little bird statues in a specific order as well, which sort of makes this a little bit crazy to work out if you don't already know how to do it. This is the map that was created by Carpegios from the Not a Cow Level Discord. You have to start over here by the first dot, then follow the specific order. You need to make sure that you walk all the way up to the statue that is marked on this location, and then once you've gone through all 12 of them, you need to go back to the first dot once again, which will then make the relic drop on the floor. Then there is the Jabbering Gemstone. Head to this location for a number of gravestones in a small square once you get there. Looking at the northeastern wall of this small area, you want to use the thanks emote next to the specific 3 gravestones that I do, and in the order that I am doing here as well, at which point the relic will drop for you. Then there is the Crooked Staff, and this one is more on the top right sort of area of the the region, and this is sort of a very interesting one, because if you head over to this specific spot, you will find a special elite which has a name in its own, which is Blood Lightning. You will have to kill this elite, but wait, because the fun part is you also need to remove all of your skill points, do a complete skill tree reset. Paragons are fine, but then you also need to remove any gear that gives you bonus skill ranks, because it will unlock skills which would prevent you from having the basic just sort of attack skill that you get at level 1 because you own no other skills. So you need to have this specific thing that you can only have with an empty skill tree and no skill ranks, and if you kill this enemy, the elite Blood Lightning, with that skill, it will drop the Crooked Staff on death. If you want to make it easier, you can drop your world tier down as well, as there's no negative for doing this. Then, as opposed to the original relics, instead of cleansing them, we have to corrupt them, and to do so is a bit of a process too. I recommend doing this on normal world tier as well, and getting rid of your mercenary so that they don't automatically kill things that you want to live. After that, you need to head to this location on your map, and specifically grab an aggro from an enemy that is located here called the Cordycepic Zombie. Most enemies will lose aggro if you get too far away from their spawn location, but these specific enemies will keep following you as long as you stay within their aggro range. So basically, you just want to slowly pull them over to one another, from this first enemy over to the same enemy over here on your map, and then bring those two over to a third enemy at this spot just a bit over as well in a sort of triangle. If you have all three of these Cordycepic zombies following you, you want to sort of group them up on top of each other and then kill them as closely in time to each other as possible. Then you have to drop all three of the relics from your inventory onto their dead bodies, which will then corrupt them. You'll notice a sort of purple flame starting to glow off of them after you do this, and that means it was successful. Then you want to bring these to the braziers that are located at this specific location on their map. They don't look overly interactable when you arrive here, but if you have the corrupted items, you can actually interact with them to offer the items and receive the unusual key item at the end of it. This allows you to break a hidden wall in a cellar that is located in this spot on your map. Specifically, click on this wall once you're inside of the cellar over here in the end room to find a hidden extra room which is chock full of cows, murderous cows, because there's also a bunch of slain villagers beside them. Once you kill the cows, you will receive the Rusted Bardiche, a clear reference to the old bovine Bardiche, especially when you realize it specifically reeks of manure, and this is the end of the new steps to the cow level, but it's very clearly related to the previous relic steps, and so in theory, to be ready for any new developments, if you have the stamina potion and the Bardiche, you're pretty much good to go for any future developments, but this is the limit to what we have currently. That said, that brings us to the one real other major topic that I did want to talk about here today, aside from this too. Now that you're all up to date on everything cow level related in Diablo 4, which is, why is there no cow level in Diablo 4? Diablo 2 had its secret level in at launch, Diablo 3 had its secret level in at launch, yet despite a frankly worrying amount of data mining done everything so far, has proven that the secret level for Diablo 4 simply does not exist yet, or at the very least, if it is coded to exist, we don't have a way of accessing it yet as players. We are now nearly a year and a half past the release of the game, and functionally speaking, there is no cow level, despite a whole lot of sort of hanging threads and puzzle pieces indicating that there is. What we do have is a couple of fun puzzles that took players a fair bit of time and effort to work out, even despite data mining, which honestly is impressive in itself, but it brings me back to the main point, and it's something that I feel often resonates across the whole of Diablo 4, which is that a lot of the journey is quite enjoyable, and especially the newer stages, which applies to these new relics as well. It's a fun puzzle and much less monotonous than the old ones were to actually use. However, ARPGs are at least as much about the reward at the end of the tunnel as they are about the tunnel itself, and right now there is no real reward at the end of the tunnel. I'm not even saying that there is a cow level that doesn't have any like material rewards or any equipment. I'm saying there isn't a cow level to reward you for looking for the cow level. There's a lot of people all working together, all watching the game, checking every time there's a patch to see if anything has changed, but at this point, literally thousands upon thousands of people have grouped up to work together and tried to solve this puzzle, and now they've got like 2 of the 4 corners done, and each time they make some progress, they also realize that they are still walled off because a bunch of the puzzle pieces weren't actually inside of the box to begin with. I don't like complaining just for complaining's sake, as if something's off, I will call it off, but usually I like to look on the positive side of things. All that said, I think it's honestly just sort of disrespectful to the time of players, especially the ones who have put in the real legwork working all this stuff out initially, that there is no cow level in the game currently, that there wasn't one at launch, and now that there has been a major update and even additional steps to the cow level sort of secret added in with the expansion, it still doesn't end in the existence of the cow level itself, which to me indicates that they want to stretch this across multiple expansions, making you actually buy each of these expansions to actually get to the cow level in the end, and who knows when we will even have a cow level, if we will even have a cow level. Maybe it'll be a year from now, maybe it'll be 2 years from now, maybe we just won't ever actually get a cow level and it'll just be a red herring. I don't know, but I find it very odd. Again, the last 2 games in the series had their secret level available at launch. When do we get the cow level in Diablo 4? That's pretty much it then, everyone. Just a roundup roundup of the old and the new when it comes to the hunt for the cow level itself. Again, if you are interested in staying up to date, please go join the Not Finding a Cow Level Discord server, where there are some extremely devoted people to working out each stage of this mystery. And maybe you'll even be able to help and be the next person to make a major discovery in the actual thing, who knows? I love that something like this exists to begin with, honestly. I love the sort of camaraderie and the community that it builds, but I just wish that there actually was a cow level in the game as of this moment. That's all really. I hope you've all enjoyed this then, and let me know your own thoughts on any of this down in the comments below. Like if you liked the video, subscribe to the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.